Yeah, okay. I think we are recording now.
Yes, we are recording. Katie, you can kick things off.
Okay, consider things kicked. Laura, or I guess we need to approve the minutes from the December 14th meeting,
We
or do
actually
we?
roll call.
Oh, okay, let's do roll call then. Do I need to call people and they say it here or?
Yep.
Okay. Member Alex Zacharias,
Zacharias here.
Zacharias, sorry. Kent Hutchinson. Allie Heerly,
I'm here.
and Laura Schley.
So Katie, we only have to call the roll for your board members.
Okay, so just me, Alex, Kent.
Yep, and then you call the whole roll and then they're excused or absent. So we've got Kent, you, did you say Chuck?
Oh, and Chuck, I'm sorry, did not Chuck Yang.
Here.
Thank you.
And then Alder Johnson is he here on Zoom? So he's not here, so
Alder Johnson is a member.
he's a member. Yep.
Okay,
So if you look, do you have your agenda up?
I do, but I was looking at vibrant spaces. Let me-
Oh.
Oh, they're there. Okay, I see. Yes.
Under there. Cool.
All right. And then, so we don't need to call for the liaisons at all.
You can, it's up to you.
I think typically we have, none of our liaisons are present in person virtually, so
Okay.
they are all absent at the moment.
Okay. Oh, then now do we need to approve the agenda for
Correct.
this meeting?
And I second it.
Okay. All in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. The agenda is approved, and we now, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the December 14th meeting? I'll make that
Motion to approve?
All right, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
right. Unanimous approval of the minutes. Now we come to regular business. Number one, consideration with possible action to approve the resolution to apply for a Vibrant Spaces grant.
Yes. This is why we're having the special meeting today. Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is offering a Vibrant Spaces grant right now to assist with placemaking efforts, creating vibrant spaces and engaging spaces that serve multiple functions. On Broadway Inc. has proposed to facilitate a project specifically at 109 Dousman Street. And they are looking to add improvements such as a public plaza, along with some creative seating and some sort of artistic piece to be the. What they need is the city to submit that application. Each community can only submit one application. And we need a resolution to allow the city to apply for the grant. Am I forgetting anything, Matt?
No, at this stage, yeah, we're just requesting that recommendation to have council approve a resolution giving staff the authority to submit the application. It's kind of a formality that WEDC requires. There's no other request at this time. Further on down the road, there'll be some additional engagements. Where we'll be coming back to the PAC and we'll be coming back to council should we receive those grant funds to move forward with the project and formally accept. So at this point, we're still pretty high level what the project is going to be. We're just kind of at the application phase. So there'll be some more details in the future.
One question I have is, as I was looking at the location, has On Broadway already received, I guess, authorization from the city to be able to construct or build upon within the right of way for one, and then on the city of Green, because I think they're the site is on within the right of way and then also on city property.
Yeah, yep.
So I was just curious as to if that conversation's already occurred. I mean, will it pigeonhole the city if we say we're gonna apply for this funding? And also, there's no authorization to perform the work.
So we've had team with.
Hey, what's that?
Yes.
Oh, hey, I just need to have you sign this. So they updated the pictures in the exam. He has 2 additional copies.
Can you mute?
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, so we've had conversations, the development team with the mayor, the department heads of public works and parks, as well as community and economic development. And everyone is on the same page that this is the project we're going to support to move forward. As far as formal approvals from INS, that hasn't happened yet, but I imagine that would be required if anything's going to be happening within the right of way.
Yeah, I just wasn't aware of any conversations in the background, and I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
some steps have already been taken to get authorization in order to do this versus just getting the grant and also, hey, you can't really.
You can't do it. And then we're the bad guys, yeah, right.
Mhm. We do feel like this is a good site. There's been artwork in this specific location before. Within the right of way as well as on that parcel, so with that precedent, we felt like this is probably workable.
Okay.
Could I ask 2 questions? One, who is speaking on behalf of On Broadway in the room right now?
On Broadway's not at the meeting today.
Who are you?
I am Matt Buchanan. I am an economic development specialist with the city. So I work
Thank
with
you.
Laura in our Department of Community and Economic Development. I
Okay.
write a lot of grant applications. So
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
And then my second question would be, as I understand it, this is permission to apply for but all the details are to be determined. So there's a mention of interactive seating and art, but none of that is specified. Is that correct?
It's high level vision at this point. The overall idea is to transform it into a plaza with seating and an art piece. There is no concept yet as far as what that art piece will look like, what the seating will look like. Because a portion of the grant is how are we engaging the community in the project? So that's where with the timing of the grant application is due January 31st. With the timing of that, we don't have adequate time to gather that community input regarding this. So building that community input to help kind of drive the vision of what that piece will look like.
Thank you. Looks like Kent has a question. Ken?
Yep, thank you, Katie. So I would be for this application. At what point would we put in some suggestions for On Broadway? Because it sounds like the actual intent is still, has a long way to get before we really start to see what it might look like in that area. I think do we put in suggestions at this point how the application should be written or anything like that? Or I'm just thinking of who would do the work. I'd obviously advocate that it would be local artists and the local fabric. That recently some things were created for the city deck that were not done by local folks. And, it's cool that they have sculptures and stuff out there, but obviously if it's coming out of the GBPAC, we'd want to advocate for our own people.
And I think overall, the agreement and the discussions that we have had with On Broadway and downtown is that we want local artists involved in the process. When it comes to if we're going to have creative seating, the fabrication of something interactive, then you started to get into engineering and a lot of local artists, not all local artists, but some artists might not necessarily have the ability to do the required engineering for something like that. So everyone in the conversation so far has been in agreement that we want local artists involved. We just might have to outsource that for some engineering and structural components. I don't know.
Okay, I'd push back a little bit in that regard. I think we can accommodate that in Green Bay. So I don't know if this is the point to have that conversation, but I just want to make sure that we're diligent on looking at fabrication shops and artists first who are in the area. If, you know, the city's going to get on top of promoting and providing funding for stuff like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to add, you know, transparency is always important. So if there's already an agenda, please share it, you know, just let us know ahead of time.
I don't think that, I think the overall intent of the project is to create a vibrant space that assists multiple user groups. And with the tight timeline of the grant and not knowing what that final piece will look like, I don't know if we need to get this deep into it just yet.
I have one more question for
Area.
whomever. How much are we asking for in this grant?
We are requesting $50,000. That's the maximum you can request. We're still defining the budget, and we need to work with a third party to put together a high-level cost estimate. But we anticipated probably costing at least $100,000. It's a $50,000 grants. It's a dollar for dollar match.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Laura, what the motion be then? What,
The motion would be to approve the resolution live for the vibrant space.
so moved.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous
Aye.
approval. All right. Anything else that we need to tend to with that, Laura or Cheryl? And Kent, I don't know what's going on, but you have a lot of background noise, if you don't mind muting. Thank you.
Regarding vibrant spaces, no, we are good with that item. We are ready to move on to item 2.
Okay, consideration with possible action on NEA Grants for Arts Projects grant for up to $10,000.
It's not a typo. The NEA has named the Grants for Arts Project grant. It sounds redundant when you write it out this way, but that's how it is. So, as all of you know, this is no surprise. This grant has been with us for quite a while now. In March 24th of 2021, the NEA notified the city that we were awarded a Grants for Arts Project grant up to $10,000 for our Shipyard Murals art project. We have already gone through the process of selecting our 4 artists to enhance select vertical columns of the Don A. Tillman Bridge. It's a match grant. We are matching the NEA portion with our neighborhood enhancement funds and then supplementing the remaining costs of this project with community development block grant dollars. Essentially what I'm asking you guys today, I made a mistake and I never went through and filled out this finance form that has to go through the city's finance department. So this is more of a formality, really kind of listing out, this is the grant, this is the details behind it, this is what it will be doing, this is who's managing it. So I'm really just looking for you guys to accept the grant from NEA, the Grants for Arts Project grant. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
I so move.
Are you making a motion to accept the grant?
Yes.
All right, seconded. All in favor of accepting the NEA Grants for Arts Project grant? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, sounds like once again, the ayes have it. Unanimous.
Thanks, Laura.
Yeah,
And eventually we'll get the paperwork all together. Moving on to informational, coordinators report and project updates. As I notified most of you earlier, January 24th is the Finance Committee meeting where they will be discussing the remaining ARPA requests. As I said, there are a number of arts requests out there, including our rotating art program and annual grant program. So if you are interested and available to attend that meeting, that will be January 24th at 4:30 p.m. Agenda is not set yet, but when that is ready, I can share that out with you. And that will include all the requests, not just arts.
So we're asking specifically with regards to the PAC, we're asking for $50,000 for 3 years, which will cover our rotating arts program with the inclusion of 4 additional sites. That's included in the 50. And then we're asking for $150,000 for the annual grants program, which has been, I think, shuttered for a while due to funding. 50,000 of that being set aside for a larger project, and then 100 that would just be part of our normal application process through the PAC, which is at the smaller level grants, the real local, community-based types of grants programs. So that will be the request that's made on behalf of the PAC for our programming. There's also going to be some ARPA requests, I believe, for some tourism, special events types of monies, and those types of things. But specific to the PAC, those are 2 of our programs that we run. And we'll be asking for those funds.
Where is the meeting going to take place?
That will be a hybrid meeting, correct?
It'll be a hybrid for sure, Ken. And I'm not sure if they'll hold this one in the council chambers or in room 207, but it'll be somewhere on 2nd floor at City Hall. Sometimes these bigger finance meetings, they move it into the council chambers. Otherwise, it's in.
Okay.
But it'll be hybrid.
And if we wanted, okay, great. I think I'd be willing to attend virtually at least. So then if we want to mention something, is there something that we need to fill out ahead of time, or because you're going to comment virtually, or can we just kind of raise our hand like we do in this meeting?
I think they might ask for, I'm not sure if they're going to open up for public comments in the beginning. Otherwise, if I see that you're there, I'll let an alder know that there's people from the public that would like to speak to the item. So, and then they'll open it up.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Any other questions or anything else regarding the ARPA requests or the finance meeting? Okay. Continuing on, this week, actually last week, we released our call for the TDS utility box artwork along with our City Hall art gallery. City Hall gallery is very informal and we have it located up on 6th floor and also within the mayor's office. It's an opportunity to have artists display their work within City Hall that aren't necessarily suited for exterior display. And those are open. City Hall Gallery is an ongoing call, and TDS Utility is going to be closing in March. In addition to that, next month, we will be releasing our call for the rotating art program, which seems bananas, because I feel like we just did that. But that will be going out next month. And then in addition to that, earlier this week, Cheryl and myself, we met with Katie to kind of get her on board with the PAC, give her some background information, and talk about goals and what we envision this body doing. I don't know, Cheryl or Katie, if you want to elaborate any further on your goals.
I would turn that over to Katie on your ideas.
Sure. Thank you. One of the things we talked about was, well, we noted again that the PAC is an advisory committee, and we are grateful to the many city employees who do all the hard work and file the paperwork. So just get that on the record. And I think what we can do as in our advisory capacity is come up with creative ways beyond murals and monumental sculpture that we can bring meaningful, appropriate, excellent art to the public of Green Bay. And so one of the things we talked about are ways that art might support the existing work of entities, both municipal and other. Hello, Beth. So we, in that conversation, talked about, for example, using drawing as a means of asset building and asset mapping in underserved neighborhoods, for example, Old North. And so maybe thinking about doing some smaller projects to build capacity and pilot these collaborations. And so I guess I would ask the PAC members to just keep thinking about opportunities for artists to kind of amplify the good work that's going on, or to kind of come at things in a different way. Is that Cheryl or Laura, you want to add to that?
No, I think you wrapped it up very beautifully, and yeah, looking forward to how we can engage artists that aren't typical public artists in a way that we haven't necessarily, excuse me, necessarily done previously.
A lot of creative minds on the board, which is great for the PAC, right? They're looking at new and exciting ideas on ways to do that. So I don't know if you're thinking maybe, Katie, at the February meeting, spending some time on that. Maybe brainstorming or coming up with
Yeah,
some.
I'd like to talk about kind of more of what we talked about in our meeting in terms of what it might look like to build, to aim towards something a little larger in the future, in terms of something that might be both festive and spectacular and benefit many people in the city and introduce people in Green Bay to art in different ways,
Mhm.
in addition to the good work that's already been going on.
Right.
Any other comments on that? Otherwise, that is my coordinator's report.
I second to adjourn.
I think we need a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Use the box on the wall.